Visit Cubs.com/transportation. Coming up, the Manager Show from Houston, next on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey Cubs fans, it's Jamison Tyone. Listen to every game here on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Hit a home run with a career as a union roofer and waterproofer, offering advanced skills training, great pay and benefits. Earn while you learn on the job with their apprenticeship program, training skilled craftsmen for the roofing and waterproofing industry, serving Chicagoland, Northern Illinois, and Southern Wisconsin. Apply today at ChicagoRoofers.org.
Welcome to Old National Bank.
Hi, I was wondering what you could do for my small business.
Tons. Have time to talk?
Not much. We're in a 30-second radio ad.
Oh, I'll get straight to the point then. Our solutions are customized for small businesses. Our services make financial management simple, and our pricing is always transparent.
Outstanding. Wow.
Yeah. So, ever been in an ad before?
Nope. How do I look?
Good. But we're on the radio, remember?
Right. Hi, Mom.
Customized small business banking from Old National Bank. Member FDIC. Get old.
The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer.
Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen Report.
Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Cubs Astros in Houston. Time now to hear from manager Greg Council. Sponsored by the Village of New Lenox, leading the way in residential and economic development. Council with great praise for reliever Chris Flexen's effort last night, throwing 4 scoreless innings out of the pen.
Maybe the best way to describe Chris is like a glue guy right now, in terms of like they just use that word in basketball, maybe, or maybe other sports, I guess. But it's just he came in last night after the 7th and said, "I got one more inning. I want a fresh bullpen tomorrow." And that was, that's just like he gets it. You know what I mean? And so, he's the kind of guy that's what in your bullpen. The guys are connected. They're to each other. And so Chris made somebody else more effective today and tomorrow. And I think that's a big deal. And there's no statistic for that. There's no metric. There's no analytic for that. But he made our team better today. He made a particular player better today. And that's just in addition to throwing 4 scoreless innings. So stuff-wise, I think he's just got really good feel for all of his pitches right now. And that's what you see in his outings. Just confidence, kind of any count, any time, any one of his pitches. And that's, his curveball is a very different pitch. It's a very different shaped pitch that you don't see the kind of the depth and the speed that he throws it at. His cutter's been a very effective pitch this year. And then the high you combine those two with just the north-south high fastball, and it's some lazy fly ball outs that are just a little bit mishit that makes him an effective pitcher.
The baseball board next on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Start your mornings with Cubs Talk. Mully and Haw, mornings 5:30 to 10 on The Score.
Step up to the plate like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and more. Whether you're betting with the home team or scouting the next big matchup, take your swing with the Circa Sports app. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. That's circasports.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When it comes to DSPs, usability matters. Some platforms bury you in complexity. Results-driven advertising shouldn't look like a chemistry experiment. Viant's AI-powered DSP streamlines setup, automates measurement and optimization, and keeps you in control. Less clicking, more strategy. And with proven CTV leadership across premium publishers, Viant works smarter and delivers stronger. Why are you still trading on a desk? Visit Viant.ai to unlock real results today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer everyone should have. It eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat to achieve perfection. Order one now on chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Cubs in Houston. Who are you banking on? Sponsored by Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. We talked about this earlier. Kyle Tucker went 0 for 4 in last night's return to Houston. I'm banking on Tucker turning the page in a big way tonight. He's got 3 home runs over his last 7 games. The pitching matchup is sponsored by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. Enjoy the laid-back experience of Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. Veteran right-hander Colin Ray on the mound for the Cubs, 4-3, a 4.42 ERA. Fellow right-hander Lance McCullers Jr. going for the Astros. He's back from a foot injury, hasn't pitched since June 10th. McCullers is 1-2 with a 4.91 ERA in 7 starts this season. Let's go around baseball. Sponsored by Great Clips. It's going to be great. Second place Milwaukee, a 5-0 winner over Colorado. Quinn Priester, 7 scoreless innings. He struck out 11 to pick up the win for the Brewers. And Wilson Contreras went deep in the Cardinals' 9-6. Radio Network.
Cubs Talk, middays 10 to 2 with Rahimi and Harris on The Score, the official radio home of the Cubs.
At Loyola Medicine, we treat the most complex cases with unshakable resolve and unmatched expertise. We don't just care, we fight, we heal. At Loyola Medicine, tough is what we do and who we are. Visit loyolamedicine.org.
Oppo Taco.
I'm going to guess it's an opposite field
upper deck, maybe something like.
Sensational play.
Hey, it's Kyle Tucker.
Kyle drives one in the air to right field. That ball is gone. It's a 3-run homer.
This is what you came here for. You got the Cubs game on the score.
Chicago Cubs baseball is presented to you in part by Benny's Beverage Depot, Nissan, Benjamin Moore, Hefty Trash Bags, Laturo Tire, James Hardy Building Products, Sea Glass Wine, Volvo, Sloan, Xfinity, It's Not a Game, Illinois.com, your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, and Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. And now here's the Hall of Famer, Pat Hughes, and All-Star Ron Coomer with all the exciting play-by-play action of Chicago Cubs baseball.
Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air from Daikon Park here in Houston, Texas. It's time for Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series between the Chicago Cubs and the Houston Astros. Good evening, everybody. Along with former Cub and All-Star Ron Coomer, it's Pat Hughes reporting, playing indoors again in this retractable roof facility. It's a scorching 90 degrees outside, but a comfortable 73 degrees inside. Houston won the opener last night 7-4. The Cubs will try to even things up tonight as they send right-hander Colin Ray to the mound against right-hander Lance McCullers Jr. of the Astros. The Astros are a red-hot team. They've won 5 in a row. Let's see if the Cubs can cool them off this evening. Let's go ahead and get right to the starting lineups for tonight's game. The lineups are sponsored by Verizon, the most reliable 5G in Chicago. Ian Happ will lead off in left field for the Cubs tonight. Kyle Tucker, the former Astro, in right. Tucker batting second. Seiya Suzuki, the designated hitter. Pete Crow Armstrong in center. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Michael Busch at first base. Nico Horner batting seventh and playing second base. Matt Shaw at the hot corner, that's third base, and he'll bat eighth. And Reese McGuire batting ninth and doing the catching. For the Houston Astros, Isaac Paredes leading off at third base. Jake Myers in center. The veteran Jose Altuve batting third and playing second base. Former Cubs farmhand Cam Smith is the cleanup batter. Smith in right field. Yainer Diaz, the DH. Victor Caratini, another former Cub, is catching. Caratini batting sixth. Christian Walker at first base. Cooper Hummel is the left fielder. And batting ninth and playing shortstop for Houston, Mauricio.
To be in, the middle of New York to display a card like this is really such a big part of the Fanatics mission. We think about how do we create new experiences. Now we get the opportunity to put incredible Holy Grail cards in front of tens of thousands, if not millions of new people. It's not just about collectors today, but also about how do we bring new collectors into the space as well. It's really what we do it all for.
Eloquist.
It's game time. Time to crack open a Yingling. After 196 years, the wait is over. Yingling is finally available here in Illinois. Look for it at your favorite bar or store. Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. And Pat, another big crowd here in Houston. See if the Cubs can get back on the winning ways.
Two good teams, Ron, on the field before us. Ian Happ leads it off. Lance McCullers Jr., the right-hander, ready to go to work. And here comes the first pitch of the game. And Happ takes a strike, and away we go. Cubs leadoff man presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Ian Happ gets a base hit, Benny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Low and inside for a ball, and the count now 1-1. Happ was hitless in 5 at-bats in the series opener. Switch hitter batting left-handed against the right-hander McCullers, who is 1-2 for the year. Fastball inside. And Ron, if you were in that Cubs lineup tonight as you were back in 2001 wearing a Cubs uniform, what would be your plan against McCullers?
Well, McCullers, the guy who's going to throw a lot of off-speed pitches. Slider, curveball.
Happ dribbles one back to the mound, fielded by McCullers. Underhand feed to first. 1 down. Score that one 1-3, and Kyle Tucker coming up.
He has been basically using his slider like most guys use their fastball. When he's behind an account, he's going to spin the slider in the zone. He probably feels like he has more command of the slider than the fastball. It's unique, but we're going to see it. He just threw that pitch, kind of a slurvy breaking ball to Happ, and jammed him.
Tucker 0 for 4 in his return to Houston last night. Takes outside for a ball. Kyle hitting .283, 16 home runs, 49 RBIs. He's had a very consistent year. And he hits a line drive, base hit to right. Past a diving backhanded try by Walker at first. It's a 1-out single for Kyle Tucker. 0-0 game, and the batter Seiya Suzuki.
Now with Tucker coming back to Houston, you know it's just a matter of time before he heats up and starts banging the ball around the yard. And I would anticipate him having a good final 2 games here in Houston.
Game time temperature, much cooler and more comfortable indoors than it is outside. It's a steamy 90 degrees on this Saturday night in downtown Houston, but comfortable 73 indoors. Seiya Suzuki had a couple of hits last night as he takes a strike. It's a dome facility, a lot of streaks of light on the field coming through the window panes way up above the left field fence. A lot of light on the left side of the infield and in right and right center field. The runner goes, huge jump, they'll never get him. Tucker steals second easily. He probably could have stood up, but he did slide, and it was not even a tag attempt by Altuve. That's how big the jump was by Kyle Tucker. Give him a stolen base, and let's see if Suzuki now can drive in the game's first run.
Well, there's jumps, and then there's really a good jump, and that was the latter as he took off before McCullers threw the ball to the plate.
Low and outside, run the count 1-2. Tucker now 20 out of 21 in stealing bags. You've got to love that percentage.
Oh, my. And stolen bases by the Cubs are powered by Arturo Tires, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Arturo.com.
Suzuki hits a ground ball right side, and a throw to first base is behind McCullers, but McCullers ruled to have been on the bag. The Cubs might challenge that call. The throw by Walker behind the pitcher who ran over to cover first. A very awkward-looking play. McCullers caught the ball and was falling down as he hit the bag, and apparently no challenge forthcoming from the Cubs. What a play.
Well, McCullers must have hit the side of the bag with his foot. He catches his ball and hits the bag with his heel. An excellent play by the pitcher. Walker, he goes way over to try to catch this ball towards the second base bag and then throws it, as you said, way behind the pitcher. But what a play by McCullers to get an out.
Now Pete Crow-Armstrong batting with 2 outs and Tucker at third.
Did you think there was any chance that he hit the bag on that play from our vantage point?
It did not look like it because he was so awkwardly reaching and lunging and trying to figure out where the bag was after he caught the ball.
Yeah, amazing play.
Here comes the 1-0 out of PCA. It's outside. After you drop the game before, you love to score first in the following game. At least I always feel that way.
No, I would agree. I think it would be important for the Cubs to do some damage here against McCullers here in the early going of this game.
Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Pete was 0 for 4 last night. 21 home runs for the dynamic young center fielder. 61 driven in. 268 average. He's been a very good clutch hitter with all those run batted in. Now the 2-1. Low and outside, almost a wild one. Victor Caratini doing the catching tonight. He was the DH last evening, but he's got the shin guards and chest protector on tonight behind the dish.
Yeah, him and Diaz, the catcher last night, kind of switched spots as the DH or catcher.
See if Pete gets something to hammer on 3-1. Nope. Outside. He did not want to challenge him. You could tell. That pitch about 3 feet outside and off speed. 2 on, 2 down for Dansby Swanson.
I don't believe in the at-bat to Pete that he threw a fastball at all in that at-bat. It was change-ups and breaking balls to Pete Crow Armstrong.
Walks to Cubs batters. As we just saw, sponsored by It'sNotAGameIllinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. Caratini out for a quick word with McCullers. McCullers has missed a lot of time, Ron. He's making his first appearance in 18 days here tonight. He's been out with a sprained right foot, and he has missed entire years. He's missed 3 full Major League seasons. More about that later on, but he just hasn't done that much pitching of late. Dansby Swanson checks in. 2 outs, first and third, no score. Runner goes. Stolen base, Pete Crow Armstrong. The pitch outside, ball 1.
Why, no even attempt to throw the ball from Caratini to second base. So they just give Pete Crow Armstrong second.
So now a base hit could give the Cubs a couple of runs. Here comes the 1-0 from McCullers. Swanson takes way outside. It's 2-0.
First inning is powered by Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated.
Cubs wearing their traveling unis. Dark blue shirts, red numbers on their backs, gray trousers, blue hats and helmets, a variety of shoe colors. Houston in their home whites. White shirts and trousers. There's some orange in their uniforms. Black numbers trimmed in orange. And now the 2-0. Down low, 3-0. Do you green light Dansby here?
I would say no. I think McCullers is struggling right now with his command. He has not really thrown many fastballs, so that 2-0 pitch was a changeup. When you look at what he usually does, it's either change or slurvy type breaking ball when he's behind in the count. I just don't think he's found his release point yet.
2 on, 2 down. Dansby taking outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Bags loaded, 2 down, and sometimes a turning point can come very early in a ball game, and this could be a case like that with Michael Busch batting and the bases loaded in the top of the first.
2-0 changeup to Dansby, 3-0 slider to Dansby. Both missed.
The pitch to Busch. Off the inside, ball 1. Busch has been a good RBI man. 46 runs batted in. How he would love to add to that total right now. They play him to hit the other way. The right fielder, Smith, is a good 90 feet off the right field line. Now the 1-0 to Michael. Off the inside corner again. He is struggling, Ron. 2-0.
He just can't get command of his slider. That slider is going east and west. It's not going up and down. And it starts and then it's biting. And the last 2 pitches to Bushy have been way inside.
It's 2-0 on Michael. And the pitch, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. He's got to be taking one here.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's thrown 3. He's thrown the same pitch 3 times. All 3 sliders, all 3 have missed inside.
It's 3-0. Bags loaded. And the pitch. Ball 4. Cubs lead 1-0. A 4-pitch walk. All 4 pitches, strangely enough, were all inside.
Inside and breaking balls. Not one fastball in the bunch. As we talked about that, he uses that slider more like guys use their fastball. And he just does not have command of that pitch. He's starting it out on the outer third of the strike zone to Bushy, and all 4 of them were well inside.
Joe Espada is the manager of the Houston Astros. He has dispatched his pitching coach, Josh Miller, out for a quick conversation with the right-hander Lance McCullers. Lance McCullers' father, Lance Sr., pitched in the big leagues. He pitched 7 seasons, beginning with the Padres back in 1985. Pitched for the Yankees, the Tigers, and the Rangers. His major league career went from the mid-'80s to 1992. And now he'll work to Nico Horner. Here's the pitch to Nico. That's outside ball 1.
That's a fastball that he just threw, and he pulled that one well off the plate away.
Cubs lead 1-0. Bags loaded, 2 down. The 1-0 to Nico, way outside. If you're Nico, you're pretty much taking until he shows you he can throw a strike.
Absolutely. He hasn't come close yet. He threw 2 fastballs, pulled them both well off the plate away. Everything has been on the glove side.
He has walked 3 consecutive batters and now fires a strike. 2 balls and a strike on Nico. Nico belted a home run last night. He's hit safely in 6 consecutive games. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a ground ball to the shortstop, fielded by Dubon, and he will throw to first in time to end the inning. Nico bounces out to short. Cubs get a run on 1 hit. They leave 3 at the end of a half. Cubs 1, Houston coming up on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio network.
I think style, it's a very complicated thing.
Custom cleats came when I earned the rights to wear custom cleats.
So I think without going out and being loud and saying this is who I am or whatever, you can just kind of wear a certain shoe or a glove or a batting glove or whatever, and it kind of shows who you are.
That's my security right there. That's the bad one, Roscoe Pico train.
Major League Baseball wanted to start doing something with the players and their dogs.
Which one's the dog?
I was undecided on whether to do a dog card or not, but my wife pushed me in the back and she wanted a famous dog, so she told me to do it.
Bases loaded walk drawn by Michael Busch allows him to pick up his 47th run batted in. RBIs by Cub batters, sponsored by Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get Old National Bank. And again, walks to Cubs batters, sponsored by It'sNotAGameIllinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. Well, Colin Ray has 1 run to work with as he goes to work on Isaac Paredes. First pitch strike as you think about Colin Ray facing these Astros tonight. Ron, what's on your mind?
Well, very good command of his fastball. He likes to use it. He'll use it at the top of the zone and on either sides of the strike zone very effectively. If he's got good command, he makes it very difficult on the hitters.
Off-speed pitch inside, 1-1. No more streaks of light on the field. Here comes the 1-1. Inside, almost hit him, and it did hit him. Paredes gets hit in the left arm. And the Astros have their leadoff man on. And Jake Myers coming up.
Yeah, that's not what you were hoping for. He throws this 2-seamer, and it just never really finishes the pitch and hits Paredes in that left elbow area.
Cubs lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the first. Big crowd on hand in Houston. 2 first-place teams. And Myers, the right-handed batter, will take a strike. Again, Brian Walsh is calling balls and strikes tonight. Lance Barrett at first, Alfonso Marquez at second, and Carlos Torres over at third. Breaking ball fouled away, 0-2.
I would think it's probably a little difficult around home plate with that light coming in on the infield grass, basically. And it's kind of, you see the outline of the windows on that. That looks very disturbing to me, like it would be difficult picking up the ball in that infield right now.
Here's the pitch low for a ball. As you say that, I had a little trouble tracking the ground ball hit by Dansby to end the inning. Not by Dansby, but by Nico Horner.
Yeah, it's just very odd right now the way the light is hitting the infield grass.
Now the 1-2, ground ball foul past third. For a moment there, the clouds had blocked out the sun and the streaks had gone away, but they've returned. A lot of bright light on the infield and in right and right center. Left and center field are in the shade. And now the 1-2 to Myers. There's a line drive past a diving Swanson into left field, a base hit. Stopping at second on the play, Paredes. It's a single for Myers, and Colin Ray immediately in a jam. 2 men on, nobody out. First inning, and the batter Jose Altuve.
And now I wonder, as we're talking about this, did Dansby get a good read on that ball off the bat? That's the question we got to ask him tomorrow. But it does. It looks very difficult to see the baseball right now in that infield.
Ray coming off of a rough outing against Seattle 6 days ago, as Altuve stands in and takes low for ball one. That was one of those scorching hot days at Wrigley last Sunday. He worked 5 1/3, gave up 11 hits and 7 earned runs, and was charged with the loss. Altuve takes low, and it's 2-0.
I know they're trying to stay away from Altuve, but he's one of those guys that he's going to make you throw strikes. If you get behind him, he's a very good cripple shooter, boy. He can hit well when he's ahead in the count.
He's swinging a high fly ball to right, playable for Tucker. Tucker in right center makes the catch, and the runners hold. Tucker fires it in. I thought Paredes might try to advance, but he did not from second base. One away. That's a big out, and now Cam Smith is the batter.
Yeah, that's the play where Paredes really should have took third base. That ball was deep in right field. I know he's not a good runner, but you've got to try to get to third base. The chances of you scoring with one out from third are a lot better than they are from second.
Cam Smith had a big 3-run homer in last night's game. He'll take a good fastball strike. Smith getting his first taste of big league ball this season. Getting 277, 6 home runs. He's driven in 31. The next offering, a swing and a foul out of play. You're right, it's hard to read the ball off the bat right now.
It really is. I'm having to really concentrate on the contact area of the ball hitting the bat to see where it goes. I struggled on the ball that was hit to Tucker in right.
Cubs lead 1-0, bottom of the first. And the next pitch poked foul out of play. I was wondering, we did eat the same meal in the press room before the ball game. Alligator meat is what they were featuring, and I wondered, does that do anything to your vision?
Then obviously we did not have the same meal in the dining room.
Here is a swing and a miss by Cam Smith.
They told me it was chicken.
And you said, see you later,
Yeah.
alligator.
Yeah. So did you sample the alligator they had there?
I did.
Yeah.
Very
And?
little. Very little.
Very little?
Just part of his tail.
Okay.
Cam Smith strikes out for out number 2, and Yainer Diaz is the batter. Here's the pitch, ground ball toward the middle, but that's right where Nico is. Throws to first to get him. That's good defensive positioning by Nico Horner. Against a lot of guys, that would have been a base hit, but Nico had him played perfectly. No runs for Houston. One hit batsman, and just a little bit of alligator meat. We go to the...
Well, this is the World Series card. Everybody said, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher. I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. Pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so that she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
Getting traded to Boston from Chicago. You see here the traditional jersey. I love a road jersey because it says where you're from, and this is simple, clean, and cool. And then you see this patch right here. This is from the 2013 postseason run, which was unlike anything I had ever been a part of, to punch through and hoist that trophy. Boston strong forever, baby.
The Bet365 app.
Is brought to you by Sea Glass Wines, delivering crisp, refreshing flavors that hit every time. Pat?
All right, Zach. Lance McCullers Jr. will go to work on Matt Shaw, Reese McGuire, and then Ian Happ here in the second inning. Cubs lead 1-0. A bases loaded walk drawn by Michael Bush in the first inning is the difference. McCullers made a lot of pitches in that opening inning. Here is the first delivery in there for a strike to Matt Shaw. It felt like about 30 to 32 pitches. I'm looking. Usually they have it listed on one of the boards. That's now 28 pitches, yep. So he made 27. This pitch is inside. McCullers' run, looking at his big league career, he's been a major leaguer since 2015. But he's had the misfortune of many injuries. And you talk about a guy that's missed large chunks of time. He did not pitch at all in 3 full years, 2019, 2023 or 2024.
Yeah.
And yet here he is, still pitching in the big leagues for a good team. And the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. And Matt Shaw, who had a good night last night, going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, strikes out. Cubs lead 1-0 in the second, and here's Reese McGuire.
Yeah, McCullers, he's lost some velocity over the years because of all these arm issues that he's had. You know, his fastball is going to be around 91 miles an hour, topping out with that two-seamer. Speed gun powered by Xfinity. Get seriously powerful Wi-Fi. Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
McCullers' pitch to Reese McGuire is outside. Interesting, Paredes shallow at third. And I say that because every team has scouting reports. I'm wondering who saw McGuire lay down a bunt at what time?
The only time we've seen him try to bunt is for a sacrifice.
Here's a swing and a bouncer back to the mound, knocked down by McCullers, and from his knees throws to first in time. That was a smash back to the middle. A one-hopper. McCullers put his glove up in front of his face. It knocked him off his feet, but he was still able to make the play, and that's out number 2.
Yeah, pretty good. That's second good play he's made in this game. Made a very nice play getting over to first base. And this one right back at his forehead, and he got the glove up in time.
2 down, nobody on. Cubs lead by a run in the second. Here's Ian Happ, and he'll look at a strike on a bender. Colors back on the mound today after being reinstated from the 15-day injured list. A sprained right foot was the reason given. Fastball is high. Lost to the White Sox in his most recent outing on June 10. Had some control issues in that game. Walked 4 in 5 innings and lost the game 4-2. Here's the 1-1 to Happ. It's outside 2-1.
So he has gone to the changeup here in this at bat against Ian, where he's gotten rid of that slider. He hasn't really thrown it in this inning.
Happ hits a bouncing ball out to second. Altuve will throw out Ian Happ. And that play goes 4-3. The Cubs go 1-2-3. Middle of inning number 2. Cubs 1, Astros nothing on the score in the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs Talk with Spiegel and Holmes on your...
Texas. This is the Graham Slam Burger. So 2 patties, brisket, caramelized onion, American cheese, ranch aioli, or ranch mayo, if you will.
Oh yeah, we're in Texas.
Yeah.
It's something that you definitely want to take a picture of and just put on the gram. I took a bite of it, but it still looks dope.
It's a burger that looks great, but also delicious.
With these designs, I wanted to bring out the Old English letter font, but add a twist to it. This is one I've developed over the years and used on a lot of tattoos. You could tell a sign painter or a lettering person by their numbers. That reveals a lot about them. It's an honor to design for the Dodgers. It's almost gone beyond sports, even into fashion. People wear LA caps all over the world.
Colors make all the difference. Official paint of the Chicago Cubs, Benjamin Moore. Bottom of inning number 2. Cubs lead 1-0. Victor Caratini swings away and fouls it away. And now the sun is being blocked out by some clouds. When that sun is shining through, Ron, this is I have to believe that's difficult for batters to pick up that pitch coming in.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I definitely think there's some issue.
Now the streaks of light have immediately returned, and here's a fastball high, 1-1. What would you do in this case?
I don't know if there's much you can do. You know, you just got to play the game.
Swinging a foul drive down the left field line, out of play.
In my at bat, I think I would go up there, and if I was having trouble seeing, I would definitely not be swinging right away. I would be taking pitches, as many as I could, and see if I could get more of, a better look at the ball and get accustomed to where the ball's coming out of. I know that.
Colin Ray ready for the 1-2 pitch. Low and inside for a ball. Cubs play straight away against the left-handed batting Victor Caratini, former Cub. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Here comes the 2-2. Bouncing ball foul toward first. Defensive alignments, those are sponsored by Fitzgerald Equipment. Material handling handled. Learn more at FitzgeraldEquipment.com. The 2-2 from Ray. Driven toward left center, deep but playable for Pete Crow Armstrong. He's got it. These are big alleys, but Ron, I think that's actually a good thing for the Cubs because there is not another center fielder that I've seen in a long time that covers more ground alley to alley than Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, I think it's a benefit. There's no doubt for the Cubs in some of these big ballparks. I know we thought the same thing when we were playing in Detroit with that great big center field. Right. That, thought that's a huge advantage for the Cubs with the speed of Pete Crow Armstrong.
Now the right-handed batting Christian Walker takes inside.
We were talking about struggling seeing the ball. Have we seen a hard hit ball yet? Tucker hit a base hit to right. That's probably the only ball that's really been squared up. Caratini hit that ball pretty good.
Walker drives one to deep left center, back toward the wall. This ball is going to be off the fence. Played by Pete Crow Armstrong, and it's a double for Christian Walker. The wall in that area is 25 feet high. And that probably missed a home run by about 6 feet or so. You have several different sections of fencing, as we described last night. 19 feet high in straightaway left from the foul pole out to about 100 feet from the pole. Then it's 25 feet for a stretch of about 90 feet. The dead center field fence is 10 feet high, and then from right center over to the pole and right, it's 7 feet high. Here's a ground ball left side. That's going to be a base hit, and this is going to hold the runner at third. It's a single for Cooper Hummel, and now runners at first and third with one away.
Cubs playing that modified shift with Dansby up the middle, and this ball just rolled through the left side of the diamond. Not hit hard at all, but it gets past Shaw. He has no play on this ball. Dansby coming from the middle trying to catch this ball. Can't knock it down. Walker with kind of an odd play running. It gave himself no angle to round the base to try to score. So he ran straight into the third base bag, so they had to stop him at third.
Mauricio Dubon stepping in. Cubs keep the infield back. Now Nico moves in a little bit. Throw to first, not in time on a pickoff throw. And Michael Busch says, let's take a look at that one maybe again.
Yep. Bushy caught this ball, Pat, going into the runner, and they're going to check this. They're going to challenge this.
Yes, they are. That's a good sign. You don't normally challenge this early in a game unless you feel pretty sure. Unless you feel pretty sure that it's going to be overturned.
The throw is into the runner, and Michael Busch cuts in front of the runner, catches and tags all in the same motion. Excellent job by Michael.
Managerial challenges and instant replays. A reminder, all reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. A second opinion is always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine. We are waiting as they watch the replay. And
after review, the call is overturned. The runner is out.
The runner is out.
And Chicago will retain its down.
The runner is out. Good job by the video crew in the Cubs clubhouse. Good job by Craig Counsell to go ahead and challenge. And a very nice move by Michael Busch to indicate immediately that he thought they got him.
While Michael does a great job with the catch and tag, kind of all in the same motion. He catches this ball almost right on the back of Hummel, and just a great tag, and you end up with the out.
Now 2 outs and a man at third. That changes the whole inning. Dubon will take outside for a ball. Cubs still lead 1-0. The number 9 hitter up there with a runner at third. That's Christian Walker, and now 2 outs. Boy, that's a big pickoff. Dubon hitting 142. The 1-0 pitch. Check swing low. 2-0.
Wait, and it's sun glaring again right through those windows, and I got to believe it's tough to see at home plate.
The gap in left center at the moment for Dubon. The pitch. Check swing. That's a strike. Dubon didn't like the call.
Well, he didn't see it. He was jumping out of the way. I think that's part of it. That pitch comes inside, and you're thinking if it's a fastball, it's going to drill me. And it ends up being a slider, and he jumps out of the way of it.
He fouls this one away. 2-2. Dubon does have some pop, 5 home runs, but his batting average a paltry 142. And the next pitch popped up. This should end the inning. Shallow center. Pete Crow Armstrong coming in, calling, squeezing. The Astros walk away empty-handed despite collecting both a double and a single in this inning against Colin Ray. We go to inning number 3. Cubs 1, Houston nothing. This is The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey, Cubs fans, it's Pete Crow Armstrong. Listen to every
Still the streaks of light in the area between the mound and the plate. And the pitcher McCullers fires to Tucker. It's low for a ball. Tucker has the Cubs' only hit and has scored the game's only run so far.
If there's one guy that's accustomed to hitting in this for the Cubs, it would be him. He understands what he needs to do to be able to see the ball.
Here comes the 1-0. Fastball away. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we're coming in live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
Tucker lays off some high heat, and the count now 3-0. We're going to play the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Let's see if he has the green light. He's taking a strike. It's 3-1. Tucker, part of the World Series championship team that Houston had in 2022. He hits a one-hopper to second, fielded by Altuve, and it's over to first in time. One away here in the third, and the batter's Seiya Suzuki. Well, let's make our guesses here, Ron, and Zach Zaidman's going to make a guess as well. David Obert is our engineer. David, more than welcome to join our attendance picks, provided, of course, that he slaps a 20 on all of us.
Prize money's worth it, though.
Yeah, sure is. Seiya Suzuki will take a strike. 1-0. No, there is no wagering in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game.
As far as you know.
As far as anyone knows. Here's a pitch popped up shallow right. Going out Walker. Walker in foul territory makes the catch. And that's going to be out number 2.
I don't know. There was a line in Bet365. I was looking, in the pregame show, and it said attendance game on there, and then he had a PH, an RC, and a double Z. I thought, wow. And they were giving odds.
No, they just think we are odd, period. That's what that was all about.
That goes without saying. Until now.
Pete Crow Armstrong will take outside for a ball. I think being normal is way overrated. Whew. I hope it is. Here is a chopper foul by Pete. And the count 1-1. Day game tomorrow. The Cubs are home at Wrigley on Tuesday night to play the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland in for 3 and St. Louis in for 3 starting next weekend on Friday. Go to Cubs.com for ticket info. Those two teams are playing each other this weekend near Lake Erie. Cardinals rallied and beat the Guardians today 9-6. They were down, I think, 5-1 at one time in that game. And the 2-1 fouled by Pete Crow Armstrong. That was a home run cut.
Yep, he took a big rip at that breaking ball inside.
What did we have last night? 39? I'll say we've got 40,004. Lance McCullers Jr. delivers. There's a tap foul by Pete Crow Armstrong.
39,500, I'll say.
Jamison Tyone, a native of Houston, will pitch for the Cubs tomorrow in the series finale. And, of course, we'll have that ball game for you. And the 2-2 popped up on the infield, shallow center. Ranging out, and now coming in is the center fielder Myers to make the catch alongside the shortstop Dubon. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the third. Cubs 1, Astros nothing. This is the score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs fans, skiing happy.
Play in Toronto. Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys, so when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro. ¿Cómo está sonando la comida dominicana ya?
La comida dominicana ya no sé cómo está sonando, porque obviamente mi esposa me cocina. O sea, hay restaurantes, pero no voy a comer comida latina.
Didn't trade it to Boston from Chicago. You see here the traditional jersey. I love a road jersey because it says where you're from, and this is simple, clean, and cool. And then you see this patch right here. This is from the 2013 postseason run, which was unlike anything I had ever been a part of, to punch through and hoist that trophy. Boston strong forever, baby.
Afternoons 2 to 6 on 6-7.
degrees, time and temperature, sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois. Bet like the pros and download the Circa Sports app today.
Top of the order for the Astros. Isaac Paredes will lead off against the right-hander Colin Ray and take a strike. Houston had the first two men reach in the first and failed to score. They had a one-out double in the second and failed to score. They had runners at first and third with one away in that second inning, but Cooper Hummel got picked off first. So Colin Ray has not allowed a run yet, despite working out of a couple of jams. Now the 1-1. Little looper, shallow left, going out is Dansby. Can't get it. It's a base hit. A bloop single for Paredes. And the Astros have a man on to begin this bottom of the third.
That's pretty amazing. Paredes, a dead pull hitter as a right-hander. And gets that pitch inside. It was a good pitch, actually, by Colin Ray. Probably broke his bat, but just looped one over. Swanson's had it short.
Jake Myers, the hitter, had a base hit to left his first time. Swings away and fouls it away. Well, I was looking at the scores from last night, and I thought of a quote that you like to use a lot. I'll get to the quote in a moment. Baltimore beat Tampa by the unlikely score of 22-8 last night in Baltimore. Here's a ground ball to third, fielded by Shaw. Go to second, there's one. Nico to first. Not in time. They get the lead man on the 5-4 fielder's choice. One away, and the batter is Jose Altuve. So Baltimore beat Tampa, and Tampa actually led the game 6-0 early.
Oh, wow.
So leading 6-0, what are the odds you're going to lose 22-8? Now, on June the 18th, the tables were turned. Tampa beat Baltimore 12-8 in a game that Baltimore led 8-0.
Wow.
Now, here's the quote that I've heard from you many times, and it fits. It's perfect for baseball at all levels. The same thing that makes you laugh can make you cry.
There you go.
And isn't that's perfect. Now, did you make that up, or is that from some other source?
I wish I could say I did, but I did not make that up. That was a phrase we've used that I've heard since I got into baseball, like probably maybe even college baseball, but I know like pro baseball. Same thing, make you laugh, make you cry.
And it happens all the time.
Right?
Here's the 1-0 to Altuve, and he'll take a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cubs lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the third. But it's amazing how many times you win a very dramatic game and then lose a heartbreaking game in the same week. Here's a one-hop grounder to third, fielded by Shaw. Good play, long throw to first in time. Safe at second is the runner Myers. Shaw did not look at second. He just backed up. It was a broken bat, one hopper deep at third, and he thought first was the best play. Did he have a play at second?
He did, yeah. He absolutely did. I don't know if the way the ball, a broken bat, one hopper that the ball kind of carried out to him pretty far. I don't know if he felt like the way he caught that ball, he was unable to kind of get his footwork down to throw to second base.
Cam Smith, Ron, swings and misses. Go ahead.
He did have a play at second base, though.
Well, it's the bottom of the third. Almost time for that slow down in action.
Oh, yeah.
And the 0-1. Pop fly foul off to the right, out of play. Cubs got a run on the top of the first. A bases loaded walk to Michael Busch. Producing a run. Kyle Tucker scored it. Still 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. The lead at second by Myers. And Cam Smith waiting for the 0-2. Line foul down the right field line. Mentioned Jamison Tyone works tomorrow in the day game. It'll get underway at 1:10 Central Time. Framber Valdez, a very talented left-hander going for Houston. And now the 0-2. From Ray, fastball high. Tried to get the young player to chase a high, hard one. Houston's been tough to beat at home of late. They've won 8 consecutive home games. Here's the 1-2. Low and outside, and they are 31-13 in this park for the year.
How about that?
Pretty impressive.
That is big time, man.
On the other hand, the Cubs have been a very good road team. 23-19 on the road for the Cubs. And the 2-2. Fouled away. He challenged him.
If the Cubs keep up that kind of pace for the second half, they're going to be playing in October. There's no doubt.
Already looking forward to that homestand next week with Cleveland and St. Louis coming in. And the 2-2. Fastball inside. Did he go? No swing.
Lance Barrett down there at first base said no. Pretty close. So we see the replay in our monitor.
Here comes the payoff. Swinging a chopper foul. Smith is the youngster that was the key player in the deal that saw Kyle Tucker become a Chicago Cub. In fact, he was the key player going the other way in that deal. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I would agree. Yeah.
Now the 3-2. Fouled away again.
Next pitch will be number 10.
Fans making a lot of noise. They are being told to by the scoreboard. The Iowa native Colin Ray ready. And the 3-2. Fly ball deep left field. Trouble all the way back and long gone. Cam Smith with a 2-run homer, and Houston leads 2-1.
Hanging breaking ball to Smith. This ball's up and inside, and he gets extension to it, and all you got to do is get that ball, get some good extension and get it elevated down that left field line. And those Crawford boxes are very short in straight left field, and he launches one well out of here for a 2-run bomb.
And Houston has a 2-1 lead, and here's Yainer Diaz taking outside. For Smith, his 7th of the year, his 2nd in this series. And he now has 33 runs batted in. Towering drive. The wall in that area is 19 feet high, and it got back in there about 6 or 7 rows, it looked like. The 2-0 to Diaz is outside.
I'm going to be honest, he hit that ball, he saw it off the bat, and then when it went up high into the glass, of our vantage point, once it got in there, I never saw it. I tried to see it land, and I never did see it land into the stands. I just knew Ian was looking way up by the train, up top by the tracks, way up above left field.
And the pitch on the way. Swing and a foul at the plate, and we'll do it again. Yainer Diaz had a 3-run homer himself last night. Smith now with 5 RBIs in the 2 games. Homers in each ball game. And the payoff from Colin Ray to Diaz. Popped it up. Right side, Horner and Bush are there. Nico is going to slap the leather on it to end the inning. But some damage is done. A 2-run homer by Cam Smith gives the Astros a 2-1 lead. And this bottom of the 3rd and this slow down in the action is brought to you by Iservay. It's on to the 4th. Astros 2, Cubs 1 on the Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
This is your home for every pitch of Cubs baseball. We are the
I'm going to throw out a restaurant kitchen term to you, and then hit me with a baseball one. I'll start first.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Oh, mise en place. That is, as the chef, you put all your different ingredients out, kind of before you start cooking, right?
You got it, man.
Yeah.
That's the most
That's
important
a tough one. I hear this one a lot because of my name, Can of Corn.
Easy fly ball.
Just 1 hit, struck out 11 as he picks up victory number 6 on the year. Wilson Contreras went deep for the Cardinals, a 9-6 victory over the Guardians.
Dansby Swanson, Zach, will take a strike to start this 4th inning.
Also in the NL Central, Gavin Sheets hit the go-ahead 3-run home run for San Diego as the Padres beat the Reds 6-4.
Here's the smash on the ground, a short fielded by Dubon. Long throw in time. 1 down here in the 4th, and the batter Michael Bush.
And the Pirates lead the Mets 7-2. They are in the bottom of the 8th inning in Pittsburgh. And I've got to give my guess in the Binny's Beverage Depot attendance game. I'm going to go 40,500 tonight.
Okay, so we're all locked in. We should get that figure here shortly. Cubs trail 2-1, 1 away. Michael Bush, the batter. And he'll take a curve from Lance McCullers Jr. outside.
Michael's got the only RBI for the Cubs, and that was a walk. Bases loaded walk on 4 pitches in the 1st inning.
McCullers has really settled down since then, Ron. He has set down the last 8 consecutive batters. And now the 1-1 to Bush. Hit in the air, deep left field. Going back is Hummel near the wall. That ball's gone. Opposite field home run, Michael Bush. This ball game is tied at 2.
Attaboy, Michael. Left-handed hitters have to love this place to hit if you can use the other side of the field. It just makes it so tough on a pitcher because you make a good pitch away, the guy serves it to left, and it ends up in those Crawford bleachers 300 feet away from home plate, and it's a home run.
And now Nico Horner showing bunt, and he'll pull the bat back and take outside for ball 1. Michael Bush with his 14th home run, his 47th run batted in, and this ball game is back to even, tied at 2. Horner takes a curve for a strike, 1-1. Home runs by Cubs batters, a hefty home run. Hefty is the official trash bag of the Chicago Cubs. Hefty, strength that's anything but ordinary. Nico will look at a ball outside. Nico's hit safely in 6 in a row. Bush, though, continues to pile up the power numbers in a very impressive manner, Ron.
Yeah, he really does. He's just, the thing to me about Michael in this season, the word consistency to me comes out, doesn't it? He's just been a consistent player night after night after night, doing his job and doing it very well. RBIs by Cubs batter, sponsored by Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get old.
And Michael has worked on his defense at first. He's only been playing that position for a couple of years, but I think he's at least adequate, and some games way above adequate.
Yeah, I would say his defensive abilities at first have gotten
Warner drives one in the yard to left. This ball's got a chance. Cubs go back to back. Nico Horner homering in back-to-back games. He now has 3 for the year. And the Cubs have a 3-2 lead. It was in the same area as the homer by Bush a moment ago, but this was more toward the foul line. And it got out of here by plenty, and the Cubs now lead 3-2.
I think the Cubs hitters are kind of liking this Crawford box thing here in left field.
Matt Shaw will try to join that group.
The one thing we noticed in St. Louis is Nico Horner was getting hot. He was hitting the ball on the barrel at bat after at bat. And even if you didn't get a hit, he was smoking the ball, and you just knew he was going to heat up, and we're seeing it right now.
Inside for a ball. Nico had no home runs in the first 77 ball games of the year, and now he's hit 3 in the last 5 games. That's baseball.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Here comes the 2-1. Shaw takes high. But, Ron, you and I have seen Nico's entire big league career. Again, he's not a little man. He's not real tall, but he is very strong. He makes good contact. And when you hit the ball as hard as he does, you're not going to hit tape measure homers, but you're going to get your share of home runs.
That's right. Absolutely. And, as he plays in this league a little longer and gets, makes some of the adjustments you need to make in your swing, as you just continue on playing, he's going to continue to hit more and more home runs.
Shaw takes ball 4. The Cubs have a man on. 2 runs in the bank. Cubs leading 3-2, and now the batter, Reese McGuire.
This 4th inning is sponsored by Wintrust, home of the exclusive Cubs debit card. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
Zach points out the official size listing for Nico Horner, 5'11", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not a small man.
No,
Cubs leading by a run. 1 away and a man at first. McGuire hit that comebacker to the mound his first time. McCullers lost his footing but still made the play. And here's a swing and a miss. McGuire lost his helmet on the follow through. 351 feet for the home run by Nico Horner. Michael Bush hit one a moment ago, and it was, I would say, 370-ish. That means I'm guessing. The ish at the end means you're guessing.
Yeah, it means. Yeah, we can go with that, though. It's still a homer no matter what.
It's close.
Ish or not.
Close-ish.
Yeah.
Here's a line drive into right center field. There's a base hit. Stopping at second on the play, Shaw. He got decoyed by the middle infielder, Dubon. And Shaw actually went sliding in head first at second, despite the ball being lined out into center for a base hit. But that's what a good infielder does. He'll try to make the runner think that there's a play there. That way, there's no way he can go to third. All right, the Cubs offense clicking. Shaw at second. It's a base hit for Reese McGuire. Now back to the top of the order for Ian Happ. And let's see if the top of the order can add to this 3-2 lead.
Now at the meeting on the mound, Altuve and Dubon, they're talking to Shaw at second base. Shaw, they're kind of laughing how they deked him at second. And a good play by Dubon coming across like he was going to turn a double play. And You know, the thing you got to do instantly on a play like that if you're running is definitely not look at the opposing team. You pick up your third base coach right away.
All right, here's Ian Happ stepping in. McCullers having a bumpy inning. 2 homers, a walk, and a single to the last 4 batters, the bottom 4 in the order for the Cubs. And now the pitch to Happ foul back. But when you think about it, Ron, that's been a trademark of this Cubs offense all year. The bottom of the order doing their share in rallies.
Yeah, we saw that first 2 months where the bottom of the lineup was just dominating baseball. It was just incredible.
Happ is 0 for 2. The pitch to Ian. Checks his swing, takes a strike. That pitch was up about belt high, not where I would think McCullers wanted it, but he got away with it. And now it's 0-2. Big crowd kind of quiet here in Houston. And the next pitch fouled away. This is game 6 of a road trip for the Cubs. They split the 4 in St. Louis. Trying to get even with the Astros after dropping the opener here last night. With 1 more to go tomorrow. 2 good teams. Here's the 0-2. Happ hits a bullet into right field, a base hit. Shaw's going to try to score. The throw will be cut off, and the Cubs have scored again. Shaw's scorer standing up, going to third on the play is Reese McGuire on a base hit by Ian Happ. His 43rd run batted in, and the Cubs lead 4-2. And now the question is, how much longer is McCullers going to be in this game?
Now they get a lefty warming up right now. I would be shocked if he faces Tucker with the game. This could be game on the line at bat with the Cubs up 4-2. He hits a 3-run bomb, and this could really change the ballgame.
Is there going to be a timeout? Or is play going to continue?
Well, they're going to let him stay in there. I believe so. Unless he's not ready in the bullpen.
Cubs with a 3-run rally looking for more. Now the big boys coming up. Kyle Tucker stands in. And the pitch. Swinging a drive deep to right field. It's got a chance. Gone. 3-run homer, Kyle Tucker. Cubs lead 7-2.
You could see it coming. He was hanging breaking balls to Ian Happ. He had already given up 2 home runs in the inning on pitches up and out over the plate with the breaking ball. The slider he has just not have command of, and you knew they left him in there. Tuck was going to get a good pitch to hit. He got a slider and he hammered it out of here.
Tucker's 17th of the year. It's another hefty home run as Suzuki takes outside. Hefty is the official trash bag of the Chicago Cubs. Hefty, strength that's anything but ordinary. Sounds like there's a very avid Cub fan right near one of our crowd microphones. And the 1-1 is taken low and outside for a ball.
Sounded like they were yelling, Hughes. Yeah,
you get used to it after a while.
It goes with that HOF thing, I understand.
Here's a drive into the gap in left center. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Seiya Suzuki scampering around second. He's thinking 3. The throw to third, not in time. A triple. Now this is the Cubs offense we have seen and come to love all season long. Explosive.
Another hanging breaking ball, and this ball gets hammered into the gap. And because, as you pointed out early, Pat, the gaps are so big here, this is a great triples ballpark, and that's exactly what happened.
McCullers will leave with that triple. Great Lakes Credit Union.
Hashtag 99.99% network reliability.
First pitch is swung on and missed. Stephen Okert, long blonde hair flowing out the back of his cap. Infield in, lefty against lefty. Pitch to Pete, fly ball, left center. On the run and making the catch is Myers. A run will score. It's a sacrifice fly as Suzuki crosses the plate. Pete Crow Armstrong with his 62nd run batted in, and the Cubs lead 8-2.
I love this at bat from Pete Crow Armstrong. Just letting, understanding he's going to see breaking balls and not trying to pull the ball. Use the other side of the field, hits this ball sharply to left center, and drives in a run.
Cubs with a 7-run inning. 2 down, nobody on. Here's a base hit to left by Dansby Swanson. Dansby led off the inning by bouncing out to third. So he joins in this frolicsome top of the 4th inning, and the Cubs lead by 6. Michael Busch will be the 11th man to bat in the inning.
Seiya with that triple. He's a designated hitter for the Cubs. They're sponsored by BBQ Authority. Visit BBQ Authority in Lyle.
Busch had the opposite field home run to start the uprising.
That was today?
It seemed like it was about 9 days ago, but yes. Yeah, he smoked that ball into the opposite alley and over toward left center. It cleared the wall with ease. Then Horner followed with a home run. Shaw walked. McGuire singled. Ian Happ drove in a run with a base hit. Kyle Tucker unloaded the big blow of the inning, a 3-run homer, a line smash over the wall and right. After Suzuki tripled, Pete Crow Armstrong drove him in with a sac fly, and now Swanson has singled. This is a team you want to keep adding on against. Here's a swing and a high pop fly, shallow right. Altuve calling, and he's going to make the catch to end the inning. But the Cubs score 7. We go to the bottom of inning number 4. It's the Cubs 8 and the Astros 2. This is the score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Take the Cubs with you in the Chicagoland area on the free Odyssey app. We are the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Since 1983, Nissan has been a...
The name of the business is Legacy Catering. We all were talking about how Mom taught us all how to cook. She was a cook at the public school system for ages. So we all started to cook with her, so we decided, to do the business, so we went to figure out what we're going to call it. So we said, let's cook in honor of our mother, so that's what Legacy came in. And just remember that Legacy Catering is about people, and this is what barbecuing is all about, and this is why we love it.
To be in, the middle of New York to display a card like this is really such a big part of the Fanatics mission. We think about how do we create new experiences. Now we get the opportunity to put incredible Holy Grail cards in front of tens of thousands, if not millions of new people. It's not just about collectors today, but also about how do we bring new collectors into the space as well. It's really what we do it all for.
error, and now Colin Ray looking for his 5th win of the year. First pitch to Caratini, popped up shallow left, coming in and making the catch is Ian Happ. And that's out number 1. Good communication. You had Happ, Swanson, and Shaw all in the area. And that's the first out in the inning. Brought to you by Xfinity, where the Wi-Fi is booming.
Now that is good play. All 3 of those guys converging on the ball, and Happer comes in, makes that play. It's a much easier play for the outfielder coming in than the infielder going out.
Walker the batter. Christian Walker takes outside. After you've had a big inning, Ron, I always think it's important in that next half inning when the other team bats to shut them down, to maintain that momentum on your side. Cubs lead 8-2.
Yeah, you throw up a goose egg in that next inning, and it just kind of flips the game over, and now you're really in command of the ball game. I just still can't get over, some of the. Boy, they had a lefty warming up, and they didn't bring him in to face Tucker. And to me, when I look at this Houston team, the whole idea is you got to keep the game close because their bullpen and their arms are so good, and their bullpen's so good. A one-run game, your bullpen is going to do its job to keep you right there.
Colin Ray fires a strike, 3-1 now on Christian Walker.
And their offense is, even though they had a good night last night, has not been great as of late. They've won a lot of close, low-scoring ball games because of that pitching staff.
Big chopper foul toward third. 3-2 on Walker.
Couldn't you feel like if that guy stayed in the game that Tucker was going to crunch one?
I was happy to see him stay in the game.
Yeah, me too.
I really was.
I was shocked. I really was.
You could tell he was struggling.
Yeah.
And the payoff. Swing and a miss. Good job by Ray. He fell behind Walker 3-0 and came back to strike him out with a sharp slider. 2 down, strikeouts by Cubs pitchers. Those are brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. 2 outs. Cooper Hummel, the batter. Hummel had a single his first time. Left-handed batter, he'll take a strike. That's the idea. Colin Ray wants to throw strikes now.
Hummel singled, as you said, in his first at bat, but a big play. He get picked off first base.
Here's a pitch that floats outside to Hummel. Real good matchup potentially tomorrow. Jamison Tyone against Framber Valdez. There's the 1-1 chopper foul.
Valdez is always an entertaining guy to watch pitch. He knows what he's doing on the mound, that's for sure.
A lot of deception.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in quite a while. That's tomorrow, a 1:15 game. Jamison Tyone, I saw him in the clubhouse, and I knew this is his hometown. He said, yep, we got some family members coming in. It's going to be a fun weekend for the Tyones.
Very happy for him. It's always fun to go to your hometown.
2-2, check swing. Did he go? No swing. Boy, that was close.
Not even the swing, but what about the pitch? The pitch was good pitch. I think the check swing kind of fooled the home plate umpire, but the pitch is a strike.
Sure was.
I think Brian Walsh just kind of flinched on that one with the swing and didn't see the ball real well.
And the payoff pitch. Drilled to deep right center. On the run, Tucker. Back toward the track. On the track. Makes the catch. Right in front of the 370 sign. Good play by Kyle Tucker. As Zach Zaidman will join Ron Coomer in a moment. We've played 4. Cubs 8. Astros 2. This is The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cub fans, Nico Horner here. Pat and Ron call every game on the Chicago Cubs radio.
With these designs, I wanted to bring out the Old English letter font, but add a twist to it. This is one I've developed over the years and used on a lot of tattoos. You could tell a sign painter or a lettering person by their numbers. That reveals a lot about them. It's an honor to design for the Dodgers. It's almost gone beyond sports, even into fashion. People wear LA caps all over the world.
The name of the business is Legacy Catering. We all were talking about how mom taught us all how to cook. She was a cook at the public school system for ages. So we all started cooking with her, so we decided, to do the business, so we went to figure out what we're going to call it. So we said, let's cook in honor of our mother. So that's when Legacy came in. And just remember that Legacy Catering is about people, and this is what barbecuing is all about, and this is why we love it.
.com. Nico Horner will stand in. Horner hit a solo home run in that 7-run fourth inning. It broke a 2-2 tie, and the Cubs have been ahead since. Nico's third home run of this road trip. Righty-righty matchup as Gusto rocks back, high leg kick and pitch. And Nico looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Michael Busch homered in that 7-run fourth. Kyle Tucker, a 3-run bomb. The 1-0 delivery. Horner looks at a strike. 1-1. Gusto 5-3 this season. 17 games, a 4.62 ERA. And now the pitch. A breaking ball popped up on the infield. Left of the mound, it's the third baseman Paredes who makes the catch, charging toward home plate. Out number one.
Like Nico almost had him another one. That was a hanging breaking ball. And he's about a quarter of an inch from hitting that ball into those Crawford boxes again. That one hit a mile in the air.
So one away, and Matt Shaw will stand in.
That's how it goes, right? You go half a season with no homers almost, 40, almost half, and next thing you know, in 5 games, you hit 3 bombs.
Looks at a strike on the outside corner. I was going to ask you, because I don't think we have the metrics on this. It's not something you can use analytics to figure out. But the old saying in baseball, right, is they come in bunches.
Yeah, and you could see it coming. In St. Louis, he was right on time all series long.
A one-hopper off the glove of the pitcher Gusto. It bounces to the left, and that'll be an infield single for Matt Shaw. No one was in the area after the ball was deflected off the glove of Gusto.
Matty with 2 hits in yesterday's ballgame down the line for base hits and a double, and now today a walk and a single, so that is good to see.
And here comes Reese McGuire. The Cubs catcher is 1 for 2 this evening. Shaw with good speed, being held on at first by Walker. Paredes playing in. The pitch foul back off the screen by McGuire. 0-1.
Another guy feeling it's McGuire. He had a bullet back up the middle. Colors made a nice play and then singled. And that last swing, it wasn't look like he was looking for a single. It looked like he was trying to hit it in the upper deck.
Yeah, Cubs have been feeling good at the plate here tonight. Up 8-2 with 1 on and 1 out in the 5th. Throw to first. Diving back in safely, Shaw.
I love that they got 9 hits in the ballgame. They're spraying the ball around. Guys are good at bats. It just hasn't been, it's been just really good ABs for the Cubs all night long.
The 0-1. Up high, snap throw to first, and Shaw gets back standing up. It almost looked like a pitch out.
No, it was a pitch out. We just don't see them often. They happen about, every other year or so we start seeing pitch outs again. Now that guys are starting to steal bases again, that's starting to come back into the game.
All right, so Shaw extends his lead off the bag. Here's the pitch to McGuire. It's in the dirt, caught on a backhand hop by the catcher, Caratini. 2-1.
I'm surprised they even got pitch out on the PitchCom device. It's used so infrequently.
There is a history here. Caratini played for Craig Counsell in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So maybe he's
did
thinking
very
along.
well
Yeah.
for accounts in Milwaukee. Always been a big fan. Caratini knows how to play our game.
2-1 the count. Shaw dancing off the bag. Here's the pitch. That's a called strike. Top of the zone. 2-2.
Good fastball right in the inside corner. That was a pitch that I think McGuire would like to get back. That one was right in his whopping zone. Down and in.
Now the 2-2. Up high. Full count with McGuire at the plate.
Now I would guess you'd see Shaw off and running.
McGuire,
for some reason, or setup. You don't see big league hitters step out and get a full practice swing like you're checking something.
He's ready now. Gusto deals. Shaw goes. The pitch swung on and missed. Throw to second is not in time. Stolen base for Matt Shaw. But McGuire strikes out. 2 away.
Good jump by Matty at first, and McGuire swings through that pitch. And there's another stolen base for the Cubs. Steals are powered by a Turo tire. And that's the one thing Matty has done since he's got to the big leagues. He is able to steal some bags. And he was off and running on the 3-2 pitch.
So Shaw now with 10 stolen bases. He's in scoring position at second. 2 away. Top 5 Cubs up 8-2. Ian Happ at the plate. Switch hitter batting from the left side. The pitch is in there for a strike. Clip the top of the zone with a fastball. Gusto works on the first base side of the rubber. Peers in, acknowledges the sign from Caratini. Straightens up, sets at the belt. Kicks and delivers. Called strike. That one on the inside edge. 0-2 on Happ.
That's one of them odd pitches where Caratini set up outside and the pitch was inside.
Which is why Happ turned around to look at the home plate umpire, Brian Walsh. 0-2 the count. The pitch. Outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Playing indoors tonight here in Houston. A comfortable 73 degrees. You can see plenty of sunshine through the window panels. Out in left, the pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Caratini. Shaw stays at second base. And the count is 2-2. The traditional shortstop position is vacated with the Astros infield alignment at the moment. Happ waits the pitch. High and outside. He's worked a full count.
Ian should get a pretty good pitch to hit here. Tucker on deck. Don't think you want to put Happ on and have Tuck come up to the plate again with 2 men on.
So you're thinking fastball here if you're Happ.
Thinking a strike. He's going to throw him a pitch that should be in the zone.
The payoff pitch. Happ swings and misses. Strike 3. And Shaw stranded at second base. Middle 5. Cubs with an 8-2 lead over the Astros on the score in the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Join us for some Cubs talk every morning. Mully and Haw, mornings 5:30 to 10.
you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places, and it looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, easy to eat. So we say, well, let's do like a brisket, wrap, and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisketry here in Texas.
Yes.
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1956 with Billy Sorrell.
St. Louis Cardinals, one of the cleanest jerseys in the game. I've always felt that way. And, the birds on the bat, just an iconic logo. I mean, look how rich that yellowish gold is in the bat. All the stitching with the birds. I've just always thought it's one of the best looks in the game. 35 is the number I wore in my Major League debut. I actually think this might be the jersey from my Major League debut. So that was 2010, May 29th.
Ready matchup and the pitch in their first strike. 0-1 the count as Ray starts off Dubon with a fastball. Top of the zone on the outer half. 0-1 the count. The next pitch is low and outside. 1-1. Jeremy Pena is the regular Astros shortstop. Not playing tonight. The 1-1. Looped into shallow right center field. Crow Armstrong races in and makes a running catch. One away. The first out brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. Nothing is out of PCA's range.
Little soft line drive, and Pete goes over into the gap to make a nice running catch. And you got to like Ray, just start pounding that strike zone, boy. You stay with the fastballs, little slider, little split, but a lot of strikes. And just try to stay away from a big inning.
Well, former Cub Isaac Paredes at the plate. Looks at a breaking ball for strike. 0-1. But Pena was hit by a Cade Horton changeup in last night's ball game and did not complete the game. The pitch low and outside. 1-1. Sore left ribs. Pena's been playing good baseball this season, hitting better than 300. The 1-1. Paredes jacks one foul off to the left behind the Cubs' third base dugout. Hard to hit a ball that way.
Paredes likes to pull the ball, as we all know. I mean, I don't even know if you need a right fielder. Like, Tuck could sit down and get a sandwich and order a hot dog in the stands, and he's not part of the game right now. And it's kind of funny. But that ball was about a foot inside, literally, and he hit it foul.
Paredes hits a high fly ball, shallow left, coming in Happ, and he makes the catch, angling toward left center. 2 away.
Never seen a guy pull the ball as a right-handed hitter any more than Paredes.
Yeah, we got a first-hand look in the second half of last season after the trade with Tampa when he was with the Cubs. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. The batter is the center fielder, Jake Myers. 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. That's just outside. 1-0 the count. Cubs 8. Astros 2. We're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth. Proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs. The next pitch outside again as Ray misses with a fastball. 2-0. Myers hitting better than 300 this season. The pitch. Foul back. 2-1. It's the middle game of a 3-game set between the Cubs and Astros. Houston won last night. Cubs trying to even the series this evening. The pitch. Tap foul off to the left. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count on Myers. Pete Crow Armstrong shading Myers just a tick the other way toward right center. Ray works on the first base side of the rubber. Peers in, gets the sign from McGuire, puts the ball in the glove, sets at the belt, kicks and delivers. Popped up on the infield. 4 Cubs in the area. It's the first baseman Bush who makes the catch just right of the mound for out number 3. As the Astros go down in order here in the 5th. After 5, Cubs up 8-2 in Houston on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Talking Cubs Monday through Friday afternoon.
Should be, visit timbertech.com. Pat?
Gusto still on the mound for Houston as the 6th inning gets underway. Zach, thank you. Kyle Tucker will lead off. Cubs lead 8-2, out hitting the Astros 9-5. It's been an errorlessly played game. Cubs have left 5 men on base. The Astros have left 3. It's now an official game for Colin Ray regarding the number of innings required to qualify for a win. That's always a big number for a pitcher. I think even in this day and age, Ron, if you're starting a game and your team is leading, you want to go 5 innings.
Yeah, you want to go 5. You want to get a W. Absolutely. That win-loss record gets tagged to you as a starting pitcher.
Tucker hits one down the line and left. That might fall in there for a base hit. It will. He's going to go for 2. And Kyle Tucker is going to have a standing double. He hit it in no man's land right down the left field line. Hummel, the left fielder, was playing deep and over toward the alley. And that created a lot of space near that left field line, and it was exploited by Kyle Tucker, who now, Ron, is just a triple shy of a cycle.
And this is a good triples ballpark in the gaps in right and left center. But, the thing about... You knew today Tuck was going to have a good day. Yesterday the Cubs struggled on offense, and him coming home to play here in Houston, you knew he was going to have a good day.
He is at second, a leadoff 2-bagger. Cubs lead by 6 runs. And here is Seiya Suzuki. He had a triple his last time, and he takes inside for a ball.
At the meat of the order, presented by Chef IQ Sense, never under or overcook your food again. Purchase now at chefiq.com.
Ron, we received some very sad news.
Yeah.
The baseball world saddened by the passing of Dave Parker earlier today. I don't know any of the details, but he did play for one of the teams when I was broadcasting, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Right.
I want to say the 1990 season. Got to know him a little bit. He was always a gentleman and always, helped with interviews or whatever you really needed. Here's a high fly ball to deep left center off the bat of Suzuki. This ball is in play for Hummel. The left fielder makes the catch. Tucker alertly tags and moves to third. That's good base running.
You just get to third base, you know that this ball, Tuck's played here. So if that ball stays in the yard, it's really deep out there in left center field. So it is good base running. But I agree with you. Growing up as a kid, as a Cub fan, Pirates coming into town all the time, and him being a big part of those great Pittsburgh Pirate teams year after year after year. You'd watch him come into town and play. What a great player.
Infield in. Cubs lead 8-2. Pete Crow Armstrong with an RBI opportunity. Gusto misses high with a fastball. Pete tonight with a walk. And a couple of flyouts to center, one of which was a sacrifice fly for his 62nd run batted in. Now the pitch, line to first, caught by Walker, out number 2. Sharply hit ball, there's nothing you can do, right at the fielder. And that's the second out in the inning.
He flipped the bat up, frustrated, but you can't do any more than scald one. He hit it right at Walker at first.
Some more details provided. I knew that Dave Parker was struggling. In recent years, it said he officially passed away after a long battle with Parkinson's disease today. He was 74. 2 down, and here's Dansby Swanson taking a strike.
Now, walking into the ballpark today, we got the news, and I remember his nickname as the Cobra when we were kids. He had some great, some memorable all-star appearances from right field with some throws that he made from right field. I remember one, Bruce Sutter was on the mound and late in the all-star game, and he made a throw from right field to home plate on the fly with the tag by Gary Carter, I remember, to getting a guy out at the plate to save the game for the National League. But you had another nickname. We all knew him, didn't know him, but you watched him, and his nickname was the Cobra. Sure. You said the guys in Milwaukee had a different nickname for
him. I'm trying to think.
Wasn't it with Parker, right?
Oh, they called him Parkway.
Parkway,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he is as big as Texas, as this state we're in.
Here's the 2-1 to Dansby outside. But he was a popular guy. He mentored some of the younger players. Gary Sheffield was a rookie at that time. They used to hang around a lot together. But Dave was such a good hitter. The wrists that he had, the quickness with his swing, even at the age, I think he was about 38 or 39 when he played for Milwaukee late in his life, but he could still hit line drives. Here's a line drive, base hit to left by Dansby Swanson, and that drives in a run. Kyle Tucker comes in to score. Dansby Swanson with his 40th run batted in, and the Cubs now lead 9-2.
Another big swing of the bat for the Cubs. Dansby stays right on this ball, doesn't come off it at all, smokes this ball. Great swing, great eye and head position on that swing by Dansby, tracking that ball right to the barrel of the bat.
Cubs with their biggest lead now as Gusto works on Bush. And the pitch on the way to Michael Bush is low and inside for a ball. Bush with a homer back in the 4th inning. That's the one that sparked the big 7-run uprising. 9-2 Cubs lead. Here's a drive foul off to the left out of play. But you're right, those Pirate teams, Dave Parker and Bobby Bonilla was on some of those teams. Barry Bonds would be part of that mix shortly thereafter.
Well, Willie Stargell and some of them. Oh, man.
Willie. Of course, way back, Clemente and Stargell were an awesome 3-4 combination. Bill Mazeroski. Pirates had some great teams. As a young baseball fan, I used to go to the park in San Francisco. We'd get there early to watch batting practice and fielding practice.
Right.
And watching fielding with the Pirates was one of the best teams to watch because Bill Mazeroski would teach you how to turn a double play better than anybody. Yeah. And Roberto Clemente's throws from right field were breathtaking. They were missiles from right field all the way to third base, all the way to home, on the fly, on the money. Unbelievable. Strike three, the inning is over as Bush strikes out, but the Cubs get a run to add to their lead.
You're always down for a deep dive, Scorpio, whether it's burying your head in a book or checking out the advanced analytics of current players. This is a perfect time to balance the strenuous physical demands of the game with working on your mental agility. A journey into past baseball stats could spark your imagination on how to improve your own skills.
Do you see yourself maybe one day after baseball, like maybe food critic, food writer?
I would love to do that. That's the plan. I've been doing it ever since I was in the big leagues. It's just fun. It's fun to interact with people like the fans, because a lot of my followers are baseball fans. So it's nice to interact with them on a topic that's not baseball. A lot of people seem to rally around that. I mean, who doesn't love good food?
Well, this is a World Series card. Everybody said, what's it going to be to pitch against Sandy Koufax, who's a dominant pitcher? I said, I hope I don't embarrass myself. And I didn't. Pitched my first shutout ever. We won 6-0, and my parents were there. My mom was afraid of heights, so she was in the upper deck. She had to come down and trade seats with somebody so she could actually watch her 20-year-old son pitch a shutout in the World Series.
He hit 339 home runs, and he had 1,493 RBIs. And for as big a man as he was, now you're talking about a great big human being. I mean, he was a monstrous guy. It lists him at 6'5", 230. That was at the draft. Because when I saw him when he was playing for Oakland in '88, his right leg was 230. He was a big man, and I mean strong, big. He had NFL written all over him. And he stole, how about this number? 154 bases, as big as he was.
Popped up off the bat of Altuve over near the dugout. Coming over is McGuire, no play for Reese. And the count 0-2 on Jose Altuve. Let me correct this. Yeah, this is Altuve. Altuve has flied out and grounded out, 0-2. Brazier in relief of Colin Ray. It's Colin's game to win. Cubs out hitting Houston 11-5. His throwing arm was great, though, from right field. Dave Parker, wow. Swinging a foul back.
That was when I was a young kid watching baseball all the time. I mean, in the All-Star game, I couldn't get enough of that. But you talk about some right fielders in that era of playing that could throw. Clemente had just passed away. Now you get Parker, and remember, between Parker and Ellis Valentine, could throw the ball, and I mean just rockets across the field.
And then soon Andre Dawson would come into that group as well.
Parker just did some famous throws in the All-Star game. I remember that one to Gary Carter, and late in the game with Bruce Sutter pitching.
Was that the one at the Kingdom in Seattle, maybe?
It could have been.
He was he was kind of over near the line.
Yes, that's right.
He caught it on the run and then had to kind of shift the feet and make the throw.
It threw a bullet.
Yeah. And the thing that really made me sad when I heard the news about Dave Parker today, obviously you're always sad when somebody passes, but he was scheduled to go into Cooperstown next month. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
That's the real sad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been such a great moment for him to go and be recognized. And his family will be there, but it's not going to be the same. Here's a pop-up into shallow left. Swanson makes the catch. And that's going to be the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And I thought his call from Cooperstown was long overdue.
Absolutely.
I thought it should have come years ago.
Absolutely correct. I think when he was a guy that dominated at his position for a very long time.
Here's a bouncer foul off the bat of Cam Smith. Smith with a home run. His home run gave the Astros a short-lived 2-1 lead back in the 3rd. That was before the Cubs scored 7 in the 4th inning to turn this game around. 9-2 Cubs. Swing and a miss. Good fastball by Ryan Brazier. First out in the inning, sponsored by Xfinity, where the Wi-Fi is booming.
Just over 2,700 hits for Dave Parker.
And Ron, you advocate spray hitting and using the opposite field. I saw him get quite a few hits. This was late in his career. I saw him get a lot of hits to the gap in left center and even some down the left field line. They would throw sinkers away from him. He'd just go right with it and hit it to the opposite field.
Yeah, he was just a great player. Absolutely.
Now the 1-2 from Brazier. There's a line drive base hit to center. Cam Smith, he looks very promising. Again, he's very young and his big league career just beginning. But some guys, you see them, Ron, and they impress you immediately.
Yeah, he's one of them. You know, it's just been a couple years. He was playing at Florida State, and now he is dominating. You know, he's doing, I'd say dominating, but might be a strong word, but doing very well in the big leagues in his first year in a position change of moving in the middle of spring training from third base to right field.
Bounce to short, picked by Swanson, steps on second, throws to first. Double play, and that ends the inning. The Astros do not score. We go to inning number 7. Cubs 9, Astros 2. This is the score in the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs fans, Pete Crow Armstrong here.
Oppo Taco.
I'm going to guess it's an opposite field, upper deck, maybe something like a...
home run to the opposite field.
Yeah.
You got it.
This is a good one, a hack.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same as like the layman's term hack, like a bad chef?
You've guessed correctly.
Okay.
Someone's a hack, you know, someone that's just nailing it in.
Yeah.
They're not putting their heart into it.
Hank Greenberg helped popularize the first baseman's mitt, holding a massive 13-inch pocketed glove. That was quickly banned, reducing the maximum size to 12 inches. Paul Richards also developed a black hole-sized catcher's mitt. This ginormous thing, measuring 42 inches in circumference, was known as Big Bertha, or the elephant, for its massive size. It was swiftly outlawed as well.
Appears to be a new pitcher in the game for Houston. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's hit high in the air to center off the bat of Nico Horner. The left-handed center fielder Myers will make the call and the catch. And that is going to be out number 1. Ryan Gusto still in the game.
Nico just missed another one. He is right on time with his swings. Let's see what's on tap. Here, sponsored by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation light beer. What's been on tap is a 9-2 score for the Cubs. And Cubs have put some balls in flight today. Home runs by Bush, Horner, and Kyle Tucker. And that gives the Cubs a 9-2 lead so far here in the 7th, partner.
Matt Shaw takes high for a ball. Cubs trying to even up both this series and this road trip. Trying to even this thing in Houston at 1. And this is game 6 on the journey. They'll be 3-3 if they can hang on to this 7-run lead as we move to the late innings. Shaw the batter. Shaw 1 for 2 with a walk. Takes a breaking ball outside. Luis Guillorme is playing second base.
7th inning sponsored by new Volvo XC90 designed for life.
Altuve gets the rest of the night off. And the 2-1 to Shaw. And Matt will take a strike. Let's take a look at a little baseball history as we glance at some notes here. Baseball history. This date in baseball history brought to you by villageofbedfordpark.com. Now's the time to make history for your business in Bedford Park. Here's a swing and a foul back and out of play. 1984, Boston's Dwight Evans not only hit for the cycle run, but he completed the cycle with a game-winning 3-run homer in the 11th inning at Fenway Park as Boston beat Seattle 9-6.
Dewey Evans.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's going to be out number 2.
There's another guy talking about right fielders and great arms.
Oh, yeah.
Dewey Evans had a cannon from right field.
And he could hit.
Oh, yeah. He was an instructor in the minor leagues when I was in the minor leagues with the White Sox. And I'm telling you, you talk about a guy that was engaged into everybody trying to get better. He would just go around and just always talking about what you're trying to do, your process. This is spring training games. And he was locked in like it was a big league game in the middle of the season with every kid in camp. It was just awesome. Just a great guy and great baseball guy that just, had time for everybody. And he didn't have to be that guy, but he was. He really was.
Sounds like you could learn a lot from a guy like that.
Absolutely.
2 down, nobody on, top of the 7th. Momentary delay as Reese McGuire goes over to get a new bat. Let's see what else we've got on baseball history. A couple of other notes caught my eye earlier. Branch Rickey. Now this goes back many, many moons. 1907. Branch Rickey, before he became a top executive with Brooklyn and other teams, he was a big league ball player.
Really?
Curveball is down low. He was a catcher for the Yankees on this date in 1907. The Senators stole 13 bases in one game against him. And
so he was a catcher. Wasn't much of a thrower, but he was a catcher.
Here comes the 1-1. And it's called a strike to Reese McGuire. That might have been the beginning of his executive part of his career.
That'll do it. Yep. Stick to the math. There you go.
And the next offering, pop fly shallow left. Going out and calling is the third baseman Paredes. Makes the catch to end the inning. Cubs go quietly. It's on to the bottom of the 7th inning. Cubs 9, Astros 2. This is the score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Every strikeout and home run is heard right here on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio.
overnight oats right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude?
My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good. She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs, and then next day, I got to eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me, and then when my mom is with me,
everything's good.
I save a lot of money.
Estamos lindo.
On the mound for the Astros, Valdez, not really a household name around America, but here he is a very big name. His record this year, 8-4 with a nifty ERA of 2.88. He's tough to beat, Ron.
Oh, my, he can pitch. There's no doubt. And I'm excited for Jameson Taillon to come back to his hometown and pitch tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon. That's always fun. So we'll see how that veteran combination will work out. I think Pomerantz is in the game, and I think they're having trouble with the PitchCom device.
Was there a violation?
Yeah, well, they're saying, and Pomerantz is saying, I can't hear, and the home plate umpire's going, he's saying they've given him a ball, I'm guessing, and he's like, how do you give him a ball? You can't hear the sign. The norm is just to exchange, the PitchCom device, and McGuire's got to go out there. So he's not hearing it. So, but they were saying that he was, delayed. And Count's like, you can't do that. It's a PitchCom. Yeah, there you go. So,
Ron, would it surprise you that pitch clock violations are sponsored by Verizon?
Really?
Yes, sir. Verizon right on top of that. They
ring, 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 ring.
And Verizon, don't they also sponsor the post-game show?
Oh, yeah.
With Zach Zaidman?
Oh.
So
Zach,
Verizon,
they're ringing you up. Didn't you hear him?
Still some confusion on the field.
I don't know how you could confuse this. The only person that was confused was Brian Walsh behind home plate. Because Pomerantz went to his hat like I can't hear it, which is what we see over and over throughout the season. And the home plate umpire said, no, that's a pitch clock issue. And he's like, I can't hear the sign. And, this is kind of common. We see it night after night. So they're getting it fixed up. That's all. No issues. We're just going to start the game now.
Cubs 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Houston 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. The starters are the pitchers of record, Colin Ray on the positive side and Lance McCullers Jr. on the other. And Drew Pomeranz goes to work now, and his first pitch to Victor Caratini is fouled away.
Pitching changes by the Cubs. They're sponsored by James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs.
Big, tall left-hander Pomerantz fires. There's a strike. That's the idea. You lead by 7 at this stage, you want to throw strikes. If they're going to come back, make them earn every bit of the comeback. Cubs need to win to maintain their 2-game lead over Milwaukee and their 3.5-game lead over St. Louis. Both teams were winners earlier today. And Cincinnati lost to San Diego, so the Cubs can push the Reds 6 games behind. Houston with a large lead in the American League West. Houston had a 6.5-game lead on Seattle at the start of play today. Here's the 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Drew Pomeranz strikes out the first man he faces. 1 away, the first out, brought to you by Xfinity, where the Wi-Fi is booming.
Hardest working player of the game today. How about if we give that to Kyle Tucker with his homecoming this weekend? against his old ball club. So far, so good. He's got 3 hits in the game, a stolen base, 3-run homer, and a double, 3 runs scored. I'd say that's pretty good so far.
He's got a chance for a cycle. He needs a triple.
He's going to hit next inning.
Yes, he is. 7th inning, 1 away, nobody on. Big crowd. We'll get the exact attendance figure here shortly. What else happened on this date in baseball history? Here's one that brings back some memories. Swinging a smash foul on the ground past third. What I cannot believe is that it was 49 years ago. Tiger rookie Mark the Bird Fidrich amused a national television audience talking to the baseball as he one-hit the Yankees 5-1. The Bird. I saw him in the minor leagues. He was in the International League when I was on my way to the majors.
That was something, wasn't it, when he burst onto the scene in the big leagues?
He was incredible. Not only was he amusing, but he could really pitch.
Yeah, no, he could pitch, absolutely.
And then he hurt his arm. I want to say he hurt his arm shagging batting practice balls. Does that sound
Yes, it does.
familiar?
Sounds right, yeah.
And he was full of fun and liveliness, and I could see that happening. You know, he was bored during batting practice one day, and there was a line drive near him. I'm going to try to make that catch.
Yeah,
I could see that. He had that kind of personality. Here's the 2-2. It's outside for a ball. And then he passed away in that accident in a home. It was with a machine. I forget the exact nature of it, but it was a tragic accident that took his life. 3-2 pitch popped up into shallow center. Pete Crow Armstrong's going to make the catch, and that's out number 2.
And the hardest working player of the game brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. And coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
Cubs 9, Astros 2. Cubs looking for their 49th win against 34 losses. And the pitch on the way. Bouncing ball to third, gloved by Shaw. Takes his time, makes this throw, gets his man. 3 up, 3 down for Pomeranz. It's on to the 8th inning. Cubs 9, Astros.
Talking Cubs Monday through Friday afternoons with the Spiegel and Holmes Show.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just bends over backwards to help people out and wish the world was like it is right here at the ballpark.
We've always wanted to be more than just a baseball team. We want to be strong, active, contributing members of the community. And I think that effort is seen by the people and the fans, and they want to support that effort.
A lot of fans and collectors will look at the T206 set as the more famous of the sets that were produced in the early part of the 20th century. And certainly they would carry more financial value But when you talk to collectors, some will tell you that these T205s are actually more physically attractive. They're maybe the most physically attractive cards produced prior to World War II.
Kyle Tucker had the game's big blow, a 3-run homer over the wall in right. And it left the park in a hurry. A line smash, fair by only about, 20 feet or so. Jumped into about the 4th or 5th row, but it got to the stands in a real rush. Ian Happ taking high for ball 2, 2-0.
New catcher in the ball game now for Houston also, as Caratini's been taken out. Cesar Salazar is now in the game behind the dish for Houston.
Strike to Ian Happ. The count now 2-1.
Gusto's still in the ball game. He was the guy that came out of the rotation, and McCullers went into the rotation, so he's fully stretched out. So he's, this is kind of what happened last night for the Cubs.
Happ drives one to deep left center, but it will not carry out of the park. The left-handed center fielder Myers makes the catch, and that's going to be out number 1. Actually, that's Trammell now in center.
Yesterday's ball game, Flexen did a great job of giving the Cubs 4 innings out of the bullpen to really save the pen for the Cubs, to really get them, to where you can use everybody in these next 2 games, today and tomorrow. And just awesome job by Flexen. And now Gusto's doing the exact same thing for the Astros today. They got a short start, and he's been able to run out there and give them some really big innings.
Ron, I'm glad you mentioned that job by Flexen. I noticed the same thing, and I wrote that down. It was going to be a topic that I was going to bring up. His 4 scoreless innings, huge. And it was one of those performances that will have more of an effect on the next game or 2 or 3
Correct.
than it did in that particular game.
Yeah, and Zach, we were talking earlier, and Zach was talking to Craig Counsell, and Counts talked about that earlier today, the importance of that. And how about Flexen coming in as this ball's line foul, coming in after the 3rd inning and saying, I've got another inning in me, and pitch 4 innings. That's team baseball. That's winning baseball. It's a great job by Flex to do that and stay in the game and give the Cubs innings. And now look at Cubs are up 9-2.
Tucker with a chance for the cycle. Now he needs a triple. Here comes the 1-2 to Kyle. Swinging a smash foul on the ground toward first. I could see Kyle, if it doesn't happen now, I could see him hitting for a cycle. He's got speed, he's got power. He can hit home runs. But it's an unusual group of talents that you need just to be a candidate to hit for a cycle. Here's the pitch. Wrapped on the ground. It's going to be a base hit. His 4th hit of the game.
Just keep running.
He'll have to hold with a single. Don't feel sorry for him, though. He's 4 for 5 in the game.
Yeah, it's one of those ball games he's going to remember for a while. There's no doubt about that.
Coming back to Houston, and they had the video of both him and Ryan Presley and the roles that they played in the 2022 World Series when they beat the Phillies under Dusty Baker. First pitch to Seiya is a little bit low. And Robert Ford, our friend who does the radio work for the Houston Astros, he pointed out there was a total of 3 World Series here in a 4-year period. Deep fly ball to left off the bat of Seiya. Get out the tape measure, long gone. Booming home run to left. And the Cubs have broken it wide open and lead 11-2. No doubt about that one.
Breaking ball up and out over the plate, and Suzuki hooks this ball and hits it a ton. It hits the wall just underneath the railroad tracks, well up above the Crawford boxes and left.
Tucker along for the ride. 1 away in the inning, and the Cubs are on top by 9. And that will send a few more Astros fans to the exits. Pete Crow Armstrong bounces one to the right side, gloved by Guillorme. And Guillorme throws out Crow Armstrong, and that's the second out in the inning.
Boy, great extension, great swing by Seiya. He got that breaking ball. It was on the outside corner, but he gets extended and never does come off this ball, and his eyes track right to the barrel of the bat where the ball makes contact, and he crushed that ball to left.
For Seiya, his 22nd of the year, 69 runs batted in for Seiya Suzuki. .405 feet on the home run. Dansby Swanson enjoying a good night. He's 2 for 3. Drove in a run with a 6th inning single. You can hear the Cub fans in attendance here at Daikon Park. Fastball strike, 2-1.
I don't think the Astros fans are too pleased about the Cubs chanting. Cub fans chanting here. They sing the song Deep in the Heart of Texas. Yeah, and they're not real keen on that Deep in the Heart of Texas.
Here's the 2-1. A swing and a fly ball to right, deep down the line in the corner, and that ball's going to go foul. It did not have home run distance, but it was a well-struck ball.
Catch of the game tonight, sponsored by Catch Des Moines. Discover the weekend getaway in Des Moines, where only the S's are silent. Find all the fun at CatchDesMoines.com. Couple good plays. Matty Shaw made a good play going to his left. Pete Crow Armstrong with a nice catch in the gap, covering a lot of ground in the outfield.
Here's a swing and a line drive. That's a base hit to the gap in right center. Dansby going for 2. The throw to second base. Not in time. It's a sliding double. His 3rd hit of the game.
2 singles, a double, and a walk for Dansby. He's driven in a run also, so a very nice day for Dansby. Now he's going to get taken out of the game for a pinch runner. I like this. What Counts is doing is trying to get some of these guys off their feet. This game's a little lopsided at 11-2.
Vidal Brujan becomes the runner at second base. Just thought of something that Ron Santos said many years ago that made me laugh. We were in this park. They have an old-fashioned train and train tracks up above the left field fence. And at that time, this park was known as Minute Maid Park.
Right.
The orange juice company. And here is a curveball in there for a strike to Michael Bush.
I don't know this story, and I know I'm about to laugh.
Anyway, one of the Cubs hit one way up. Might have been Derek Lee or Ramos Ramirez hit one way up, and it actually landed in the back where they had some items of fruit. Here's a little looper down the left field line. It's a base hit, and a run is going to score a bloop single for Michael Bush. And the Cubs now lead 12-2. Bush gets his 3rd run batted into the game and has 49. But anyway, Ron informed me on one of these home runs, he said, that ball almost landed in there in the back of the train with all those other pumpkins. I said, Ronnie, I really think those are oranges.
Oranges, yeah.
In Minute Maid Park.
Right, yeah. Well, maybe he liked pumpkin juice. I don't know.
He was beautiful. 2 outs, 3 in, 12-2 Cubs. Here's a swing and a smash to third, glove by Paredes. Throws to second. There's the force. That's the inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, and a whole bunch of pumpkins. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cubs 12, Astros 2. This is the score in the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey Cubs fans, it's Michael Bush. Listen to every game here on the Chicago.
6-0 drubbing of the Yankees as Brent Rooker hit his 17th home run. The Tigers double up the Twins 10-5. The Pirates a 9-2 winner over the Mets.
Cubs leading 12-2 here, Zach. As Porter Hodge, the new man on the mound, fires a little bit low for ball one. What else you got?
Marcus Semien with a walk-off single in the 10th as the Rangers beat the Mariners 3-2.
Swing and a miss.
The Royals crushed the Dodgers 9-5. Bobby Witt Jr. had a 4-hit game for Kansas City. Padres beat the Reds 6-4. Gavin Sheets the go-ahead 3-run shot.
Keep going, Zach. You're on a roll.
The Red Sox with a 15-1 drubbing of the Blue Jays at Fenway.
Liner to short, caught by Vidal Brujan. Vidal replaced Dansby Swanson as a runner and now stays in the game defensively. And now an equipment exchange.
I think guys are having issues with the PitchCom device.
By the way, the first out brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. They should use.
So are you, Z.
They should use Xfinity for their PitchCom devices. They wouldn't have those issues.
Yeah.
Right, so the Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 15-1. Cedar Rafaela and Wilyer Abreu both go deep.
An executive from Xfinity just texted us, make me an offer.
Yeah.
Perhaps that'll happen soon. The White Sox shut out the Giants 1-0. Andrew Benintendi's home run, the only run of the game. The Marlins knock off the Diamondbacks 8-7 in 10. The Brewers a 5-0 shutout victory over the Rockies.
Ron, I see that a guy that we both have had experience with in Major League Baseball, Ron Washington, is going to miss the rest of the season. It's at a medical issue, and we certainly hope it's nothing serious. He is one of the nice people, one of the smart people, and just one of the best guys in the game.
Yeah, I've known Washington, as you have, for a very long time. One of the best infield instructors we've had in our game ever, and he's been managing, and he's been a very successful manager.
Fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Ian Happ in the corner looking up, and that ball is going to be a home run. A home run for Isaac Paredes, his 17th of the year.
This ball, I think, hits the top of the wall in the Crawford boxes right next to the foul pole, bounces back towards the field of play, but lands in the stands along the sidewall for a home run.
So it's now an 11-3 Cubs lead, or a 12-3 Cubs lead, with one away in the bottom of this 8th inning. Taylor Trammell batting, and he'll take outside. It says it's 3:15 to the corner and left. You have your doubts?
I do. I really do. Playing here, you just hit balls and you go, boy, it's really short down the left field line. What do
you think the actual figure is?
295, somewhere like that, maybe 300, maybe.
Here comes the 1-1, a swing and a miss.
But Pat, getting back quickly to Ron Washington, one of the great people in our game. He's been around our game for a very long time, and we really hope Wash is okay. And he gets himself healthy.
Here's the 1-2 outside.
There was nobody more fun to play against as a third baseman, and him being the third base coach. He was some kind of fun to play against.
You guys had a running dialogue?
All game long, all series long, every time. From the time you get on the field in batting practice till the game was over, and it was fun.
Trammell strikes out, and that's out number 2. Cubs lead 12-3, out hitting Houston 15-7. Ball, they just showed a slow motion replay of that home run. It actually hit the screen of the foul pole. Clearly a home run. And now the 1-0 pitch to Luis Guillorme. And he'll swing and miss. Ron Washington was on the Minnesota Twins and on the very first big league team that I ever covered, the 1983 Minnesota Twins. He was a backup shortstop, but he was a utility guy.
Yeah,
he played
right.
second, played third. Very intense.
Yeah, he wants to win. There's no doubt, but he has fun in our game. He really does.
And now the 2-1 pitch low and inside for a ball. The A's third baseman, Chavez, was it Eric?
Eric Chavez.
Eric Chavez. He won numerous Gold Gloves. Ron Washington was his defensive coach.
Yep.
And I remember reading an article about Ron. After about the second or third Gold Glove that Chavez won, he gave the physical award, the medal, he gave it to Ron Washington.
Yeah, the Gold Glove itself, the glove, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty magnanimous gesture, and that shows what kind of respect he had for Ron.
Absolutely.
Two down, nobody on. Bottom of the eighth inning. Here's a big bouncer to second base. That's gloved by John Birdie, and he throws to first in time. We go to inning number 9. The Cubs in good shape, leading by a score of 12-3 over the Astros. You're listening to The Score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Join us for great Cubs.
South side of Chicago, where are you at? This was the first time I got traded, but I was so excited to wear these pinstripes and be a South side of Chicago boy. This jersey right here is an all-star jersey. You can see on the back the all-stars and the all-star patch there. Being an all-star and being who I was called over there to be was something I was real proud of.
Williams chatting with the first base umpire Lance Barrett before he goes to work. I'm not sure if he's got a pitch calm issue. Looks like we're ready for play to begin here in the 9th inning. Matt Shaw to lead it off. Shaw with a walk and a single. The big inning for the Cubs was inning number 4 tonight. They scored 7 times. And they've had a comfortable advantage ever since. Right-hander Weems fires. The pitch popped up foul and back out of play. Many Astros fans have already headed for the exits. Thousands of Cub fans, however, still hanging around, and there's a lot of them here.
Yeah, a lot of people down behind the Cubs dugout. This 9th inning is brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Driven foul down the right field line and back out of play.
Tough plays of the game. There's been a few of them. The Cubs have played very good defense today. Errorless ball on both sides, actually. Tough play of the game, sponsored by Loyola Medicine. Loyola Medicine defines tough.
Weems, long-legged right-hander, comes back 0-2. This ball's hit in the air to deep center, but it is playable for Taylor Trammell, and it's out number 1. Please stay tuned for the Toast of the Game, presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. And that's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Ron Coomer will concentrate on that decision, and we'll have an answer. The Benny's Beverage Depot Toast of the Game.
I think we could probably do it right now.
Now the left-handed batting Reese McGuire takes down low.
How about Kyle Tucker for our Toast of the Game ball player today? Triple away from the cycle. He had 4 hits, stolen base, scored 4 runs, drove in 3. That's a pretty good day.
It's a full box score, too. Yeah. Driven to right, playable back near the track is Guillorme making the grab, and that's out number 2. Let me correct that. That was Smith who made the catch out in right. 2 down. Please stay tuned for the Verizon Cubs radio postgame show with Zach Zaidman. Zach is industriously preparing that show right now.
Wow.
Here's a pitch low and inside to Ian Happ. And Ron, since it actually is the 9th inning, if you're ready to name the Toast of the Game ball player, well, you've already mentioned Kyle Tucker, right?
Yeah. How about Tuck and with the 4 hits, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was listening. I was so in tune to what you were saying that it didn't strike me that that was the Toast of the Game ball player.
Yeah. You were very industrious in how you were calling the game at that point.
Sort of. 2 balls and a strike.
Either that or you were helping Zach with the post game.
That could have been it. I was multitasking.
Yes, you were. Doing it. No, that's how you got to do it, folks, if you're going to be a Hall of Famer.
I was thinking about pumpkins or oranges, either one. Here is a swing and a foul back by Ian Happ. So where were we?
2-2's the count. 2 outs here in the 9th, and Ian's at the plate.
It's all very helpful. And the 2-2 on the way to Ian is taken high. Zach hands me the exact figure, 39,218. Seems to me I already read this about half an hour ago.
Yeah, but you didn't say who won the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game.
Oh, it was Ron Coomer.
Oh, there we go.
Here's a smash to first, fielded by the first baseman Caratini, and making the play unassisted, and that ends the inning as the Cubs have a sizable lead as we go down, and Tucker was in the on-deck circle hoping to get one more at-bat to try to go for that triple. There'll be other chances for Kyle.
Tony Gwynn drop I did with his estate. So we just signed a deal at therealist.com to actually go through his entire archives, present them, and auction them off. And to announce it, we did this limited edition 1994 The Lost Season card. Because, you know, between August of 93 and May of 95, Tony Gwynn batted .406 in 162 games. So in the back, we have the stats of what could have been.
Tip of the cap, and now here we go. He gets Larry Walker, and here he is. He's going to face him right-handed. Why not? He looks like a catcher hitting. And now he's back to the left side. And a 2-out walk. So Walker reaches base after that first pitch. It was like the flyby here right after the anthem.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Pat?
Ryan Pressly was on the mound when these Astros won the World Series back in the year 2022, and he will pitch the 9th inning here tonight. Cubs lead 12-3. First pitch popped up shallow right. Going out is Michael Busch, making a nice catch, and that's out number 1. Before we continue, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is The Score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Covering the Cubs and all of Chicago's team on the Spiegel and Holmes Show afternoons 2 to 6 on The Score, WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Yainer Diaz batting. Diaz waiting for Ryan Pressly. Here's the pitch by the right-hander, fouled away off to the right. Cubs trying to even up this series. Looks like they will, leading 12-3 in the bottom of the 9th with 1 away. And it'll give them a 3-3 record on the road trip. With 1 more to go tomorrow, of course we will have it for you. Starts at 1:10. Zach's pregame show starts at 12:35 tomorrow. Jamison Tyone against Framber Valdez. The 1-1, a foul off to the right, out of play. Zach getting his postgame show together. He'll have some highlights for you. And now the 1-2 pitch. Curveball is outside. They keep showing all weekend long. We've seen the final out of that World Series in 2022. Kyle Tucker, the right fielder, caught the ball in foul ground down the right field line right here at Daikon Park. Here's the 2-2. Curveball outside. And 3 times in a 4-year period, the World Series winner and final game took place right here in this ballpark. Washington beat Houston in that crazy 2019 World Series where the road team won all 7 games. Fly ball to left on the run. Ian Happ makes the catch. Over toward the corner. That's going to be out number 2. But imagine that run, a World Series where you'd think the home field would be a huge advantage, and yet the visiting team won all 7 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Yep, it really was.
But the final out occurred here in that one, obviously, with Washington winning it. Atlanta won the. And it's not inconceivable that these 2 teams right here that we're watching tonight, that they meet in this year's World Series.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those, the 2 good teams. You know they're going to be active in the trade deadline time. They're both, first place in their divisions.
Listen to the Cub fans. They are standing and making a lot of noise. Cubs on the brink of their 49th win against 34 losses, which would give them the same record as the Astros. The 1-2 low and inside from Pressly. Cubs have left 7 on base, the Astros 3. Cubs with that big inning, 7 in the 4th inning tonight. Now the 2-2 instead. The Cub catcher Reese McGuire out to see about Pressly. McGuire had a single during that big inning. He turned out to be a nice pickup for this Cubs team. He's had a lot of big hits. And when Miguel Amaya went down with the injury, Cubs signed McGuire, and he's done a very good job.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Absolutely. 5 home runs on the year in a short period of time. Right around 50 at bats. Done a good job behind the plate.
Fastball, strike 3 call, ball game over. The Cubs have beaten the Houston Astros easily. The final, Cubs 12, Houston 3, and we'll be back with the totals in just a moment on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Listen to every Cubs game right here on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Future You is using their Rapid Rewards for their next vacation. All thanks to present you signing up with Southwest Airlines, where you earn points every time you fly. Because what's the point of points that future you can't use? And since your Rapid Rewards points